Please subscribe to the channel to watch the latest videos.
Hello Patriots, I'm at Restored Republic via a GCR compiled by Judy Byington. The war in Israel is exposing the military-industrial complex's plan to rule the world. EBS activation pending for the Q plan to save the world. The Mystery of Israel Solved, a documentary about the war in Israel and how they plan to start World War III. It's only wise to be prepared for disasters and store at least a month's worth of cash, water, food, and essential items for yourself and to help others. Don't forget prescriptions and, necessities like ibuprofen, things like that, and first aid kits. Since Israel was created in 1948, then where is the real Israel? Since Q says Israel is last and that the U.S. is last, then I say America is actually Israel. Okay, I just went around the world with this one. Rubik's Q on Telegram. Judy notes, Saturday, October 21st, urgent military intel. Elon Musk, Trump, and the secret power behind Cheyenne Mountain. Directed energy weapons, global geopolitics, military industrial complex, national defense, and General Q Charles Q Brown Jr. Friday, October 20th, bombshell. EBS activation on October 22nd, Biden's retirement, Trump's return, and the White Hat's plan revealed. Gazette Teller. Friday, October 20th, beforeitsnews.com. Charlie Freak Live, Donald Trump, the greatest sting operation of them all, parts 1 and 2. That's a really good video if you haven't seen it. Charlie Freak put this together, I think, a couple years back. And basically when Trump came into office in 2016 and he did that around the world tour, going to each country, he had this red folder. Well, Charlie does a great job explaining what was happening behind the scenes, what that stuff really meant. And it's a real eye-opener. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Kissinger quote, 2009. Once the herd accepts mandatory vaccinations, it's game over. They will accept anything. Control sheep minds and you control the herd. Vaccine makers stand to make billions, and many of you in this room are investors. It's a big win-win. Since 1913, U.S. taxpayers have been paying taxes on money they earned, taxes on money they spend, and taxes on things they own that they have already paid taxes on, with already taxed money. And they are paying those taxes to the deep state cabal through the cabal's privately owned Federal Reserve and IRS, which charges the U.S. taxpayers interest to use their own monies to pay the cabal-controlled federal employees. On Thursday, October 19th, the actor Biden gave a speech in the fake Oval Office in Georgia. Would that be at the Tyler Perry Studios where they have the fake White House set? I'm guessing that's where it was. The fake news press reported he addressed the Middle East conflict, asking Congress for $100 billion to send to Israel. Wow, that's a lot of money, which seemed on the surface to be a good idea, except for the fact that Israel was a state created by the cabal, not the Jewish people, who created the war in the first place, and most of the money would be destined to go to Ukraine so it could be funneled back to the politicians who agreed to pass the bill. See how it works? See how the whole money laundering payoff scheme works for them? Biden's Congress request, $1 billion request to Congress, your taxpayer dollars at work, AMG News. In other words, what's happening in Israel is designed to stop GCR. The revaluation of all currencies is here. The fleeing reptoid Khazarians have lost control of the world financial system. All the major oil-producing countries have joined BRICS, and they are primarily Arab countries. The Russian ambassador to UN says Donald Trump is the legitimately elected president of the United States. He was overthrown with the cooperation of Germany, France, Poland, with the support of the U.S. Russia knows that Basement Joe didn't win the 2020 election. It was stolen in the middle of the night by the Democrats using domination vote or dominion voting machines. Since 2020, we've lived with a worldwide conspiracy to poison the population with untested medicines mandated for use by a corrupt White House, Congress, media, universities, and the medical profession. We have lawyers and judges acting in concert with a corrupt legal system controlled by the cabal that was designed to deprive the people of their liberty, property, and lives. The devastation of freedom actually began with the 1913 capture of the global money supply by 13 Jewish families and their banks who were fueled by regularly scheduled world wars. White hats inside Trump's Congress were well aware of what's happening and exposing Fauci's man-made virus, the Biden crime family, and how the CIA was creating a war against Russia. So many things are happening in the U.S., including a financial collapse. POTUS will soon come into the picture and resurface 2020 election fraud, while Trump will expose the corrupt U.S. legal system. The White Hats were painting a picture and getting information down on U.S. congressional records, including the corrupt UN agenda and Obama-Biden funding Iran to bring in extremists to cause chaos in the U.S. Another 9/11 inside job. The military alliance was watching and documenting everything. At this moment, we had hundreds of Iranian and al-Qaeda terrorists in Gitmo who were exposing planned attacks in the U.S. The only way to take down the UN, CIA, Rockefeller, Obama, Clintons was through military game theory operations, letting them play their final cards and then expose the truth after the events and arrest wars. After the great unrest in the United States, near chaos and civil war, 11.3 military laws of war protocols can settle the chaos within a few days. The U.S. military can be deployed into all cities within a few hours and can within a few days restore order. Then would come D-class for all to know, including massive arrest wars, the ending storm. After the massive collapse in several countries, including Europe, the military will rise in amazing coups. Even in Israel, the deep state cannot win the war, and in time Netanyahu will step down to be replaced by the good Israeli people government. Friday, October 20th, new video. GCR, Nasara, and Medbeds trust the journey towards a revolutionary finale. Nasara surprise, Biden impeachment, Medbed revolution. There's an article up before. Timeline. The Iraqi dinar has revalued and since last week has been trading on the back screens of the Forex, putting itself in a position for the new exchange rate that was soon to be made public according to Iraqi banks. The Central Bank of Iraq suspended Western Union service for international money transfer. And this is coming from search4dinar.word. Iraq joined BRICS and banned cash withdrawals of US dollars in Iraq. And that's from watcher.guru. Overnight, Sunday, October 15th, the banks completed the remaining layers of payments. And that same Sunday, the IMF and World Bank held their last meeting. By Monday, October 16th, the dinar was fluctuating in value on the back screens of the Forex, though it was mainly at $1.47 to the USD in country. Also, the RV launch algorithms were said to be ready to go. Dubai 1 had been released and Dubai 2 had almost finished its launch. On Tuesday, October 17th, Iraq passed a law giving 5% interest rates on all bank deposits. They encouraged Iraqi citizens to move their dinars from under the mattress and deposit them in the bank for profit. Our new automated banking systems are waiting to make it happen for you. On Wednesday, October 18th, Iraq raised their interest rates because they were going to raise the value of the Iraqi dinar. On Thursday, October 19th, the White House went red, the same day as the London Stock Exchange halted trading. On the 19th, October 1987, the stock market crashed severely. Gold was going up, and on the 19th of October, SEC dropped its lawsuit against XRP, which means there was nothing stopping major financial institutions using XRP for very large transactions. I wonder if we will see a massive Wall Street crash in October as it did back in 1929 October, but bigger, everything going red. Yorkshire Lass on Telegram. The 20 or so days of disclosure was believed to have begun around Sunday, October 1st. If so, that would take the RV timeline to this Friday, October 20th, when all buy-sell bond operations closed, meaning you can't buy any more bonds or foreign currency to exchange. EBS activation on Sunday, October 22nd. Q says that after Argentina's election on Sunday, October 22nd, everything would change and the world would soon have no internet for a while. We are approaching that timeline. Get ready for it, Q. EBS activation on Tuesday, October 24th, when the Supreme Court was expected to announce their decision on the Brunson 2020 election fraud case, which could take down the Biden administration and all of Congress. Could this cause riots and be the EBS activation date? EBS activation on Tuesday, October 31st. Trump said he was turning off the friggin' lights on at Halloween. Did he mean EBS activation on Tuesday, October 31st? Starting the fourth week of October, repatriation and reclamation allowances will be paid out. The amount of monies paid back will be based on federal taxes paid since the 1940s, interest on mortgages, bank loans, car loans, and credit card interest, along with interest earned on those monies over the years. Those 60 and older will be paid in 3 equal monthly payments for October, November, and December. Those 50 to 60 will get payments over the next 12 months, and those younger will be paid out over 15 years, though they have to be employed in order to qualify. Starting sometime in October and continuing for 3 months, Social Security benefits will be significantly higher, topping out at $5,200. The repatriation allowances for 60 and older will begin the 18th or 25th of October as the beginning of 3 equal payments over the next 3 months. And Wednesday, November 1st, was the goal to have currency exchanges and ZIM bond redemptions completed, although that date could vary. On Sunday, November 19th, XRP gold asset-backed digital currency would be official. Starting January 1st, 2024, the fiat US dollar will be worthless. All currencies across the globe will be on par one-to-one with each other. Social Security benefits will be much higher, and the Social Security R&R payments start on a monthly basis. In the next 3 to 6 months, the Rodriguez Trust will begin to administer universal basic income for citizens of all GCR-compliant countries. The amount per individual or family will depend on the status, needs, employment level, and age of the person, family, and will work to encourage people to work if they can. Global Currency Reset. Thursday, October 19th, Bruce. Currency sellers have been advised they were no longer able to sell currencies after 11:59 p.m. Friday night, October 20th, Central Daylight Time. Once the currency sellers stopped being able to sell, Tier 4B would go. The optimal time we could be notified was Saturday morning, October 21st, Wednesday, October 18th from Mark Z. On the bond side, there are some with appointments this Friday, October 20th, and they are expecting full funding. There are also a couple of appointments for over the weekend. Wednesday, the 18th, Wolverine. All operations will be closing by Friday, October 20th, which means you can't buy any more bonds. The launch algorithms were ready to go on Monday, October 16th. Dubai 1 has been released and Dubai 2 could be finished by now. Banks completed the remaining layers of payments overnight, Sunday, October 15th. Wednesday, October 18th, TNT. The window for the rate change was still open. It can still be at any minute. Assets in 8 Iraqi banks, more than $13 trillion. Friday, October 20th, Nasara. The real Nasara, planned for submission to Congress. Not all that other fake stuff. The Chicago Plan. Global financial crisis. The BRICS alliance was on the move with their own currencies using digital payments. By doing this, purchasing will be instantaneous and very easy for the BRICS nations. They represent a large percentage of the world's economies. Remember Operation Sandman? By not using the fiat US dollar anymore, it will cripple and devalue it. This will hurt our economy. The more your own currency is used, the higher it is valued. That is why Iraq is making their citizens use the dinar and not US dollars. Friday, October 20th, time to take the red pill. Deep state duplicity, the art of funding two wars and breaking the American bank. Greatest financial loss in world history. And this is from Before It's News. Millions will be devastated. G. Edward Griffin. Hunting Back closes 26 branches and is yours next from dailymail.co.uk. Restored republics. Turkey will leave NATO and become Constantinople once again. And Friday, October 20th, list of indictments, arrests, and executions. Dismantling the deep state operatives and doubles. We have it all. Friday, October the 20th, White Hat Intel. A civil war in Israel was coming closer. Now the government arms militias to arrest and fight against their own Israeli population who do not comply with Israeli government laws. New laws that Israelis cannot speak out against the government agendas. The ugly hidden underbelly of Israel's pro-democratic system is now showing the truth of the fascism as the national security minister has armed local extreme Israel citizens with tens of thousands of weapons and guns. These newly created militias by the Democrat forces in Israel is controlled by Netanyahu Mossad, CIA, and were working with state forces. Israeli militias are now attacking their own people and arresting them for not complying with the new laws passed by the communications minister that says anyone can be arrested for undermining Israeli national morality. Now several leaders and influential heads of Israel who do support Zionism, including opponents of Netanyahu, are giving warnings of a civil war coming, where the streets from north to south of Israel will bleed red of blood if nobody stops the fascist movements of the Mossad, CIA, Netanyahu-controlled regime. Information of Israel's intentional stand-down in the Hamas attack has hit the Israeli society, and military intel ops are dropping information to the public sectors that Netanyahu, Mossad, CIA are responsible for the attacks, and new laws that will be created to silence the corruption of the current regime. Currently, the Israeli military are keeping the growing inside fight of military commanders and leaders hidden, as AI bots are sharing powerful information among the Israeli people. Boy, they must have a pretty big brainwashing operation going on in Israel. The regime, the Netanyahu regime. And Netanyahu's a puppet, probably run out of London, is my guess, MI6. But, you know, they keep that country is very controlled from my understanding. And I don't know if the people, the regular people, not part of the regime or the cabal, you know, they're just average people that are innocent. I wonder if they know what's going on, if they understand, because that's happening here in this country too with the Biden regime. There is massive panic in the Israeli military and government sectors and their leaders as Netanyahu that a coming civil war in the next months, less than a year, will lead to a full military coup, and they will be arrested and face treasonous changes and crime against humanity procedure and charges. As the world storm nears, it's important to remember the Great Awakening that really began in 2012 and how the internet shaped the consciousness of humans to awaken. Of course, the internet has two sides, one evil and one good. I'm speaking of the good and light movement here. The internet was important to humanity as information was given, dropped intentionally, released through all regions across the globe to bring in the Great Awakening, a powerful world consciousness grew collectively for the first time in humanity as humans shared information in split seconds. People found and shared important information, and their consciousness grew quickly, and truth movements began. In the past, suppressed information would be exposed of the darkest secrets of the government, world global elites, and their agendas. It was always the plan by white hats to use the internet to expose the cabal. It was long known the internet would lead to civil unrest, awakening between the sleeping and awakened, and a powerful revolution worldwide. You are inside the storm of revolution. The real news for Friday, October 20th, 2023. DUMBs revealed. Walmarts are military bases with thousands of miles of underground tunnels linking them. Walmart Evergreen HCR Getty. Troops around the world are cleaning the underground and surface in full combat process. And if you want to follow a lot of these dumb destructions that are going on underground, if you look at earthquake maps, usually the DUMBs are 10 kilometers in depth. And so whenever you see 10 kilometers in depth, like a series of earthquakes, usually they're in a row because it's a tunnel or something. You can bet that's probably DUMBs that are being destroyed. U.S. launches visa waiver for Israelis to travel into country for 90 days. And Thursday, October 19th, live updates in progress. Israeli Defense Minister to troops. The order will soon be given. Hal Turner report, AMG. Friday, October 20th, Israel-Hamas latest update. Guns and more guns. Joe Biden drags America into war on two fronts. Israel war and Putin. So we're fighting two proxy wars. One against Russia and one against Hamas. And that's the one against Hamas is looking like it's expanding. New information in the drowning death of Obama's personal chef, Tafari Campbell. Obama confirmed to be at the scene of the crime. Secret Service has surveillance footage of Tafari Campbell before he died. Biden crime family. The Democrat puppet Biden administration, controlled by Obama, worked in concert with the Chinese Communist Party and Dominion voting machines to steal the 2020 election with help of a phony epidemic lockdown. One big psyop since 2012. Dr. Naomi Wolf. Biden then shut down the pipeline, opened the border, and created false flags to devastate the nation in order to install an AI-driven one-world government that could depopulate the world through control of the food supply and people's pocketbooks via digital fiat currency. Biden's U.S. Inc. has recruited over 5 million people, brought them across the southern border, and given them IDs, free room and board, and credit cards for a secret revolution that would bring poverty to the country, so its citizens would be dependent upon Satan-worshipping, child-sacrificing, pedophile politicians to rule their lives. Evidence of Biden family influence peddling scheme. dailymail.co.uk. EBS. The scare event is all the nuclear reactors which will be hacked by rogue states such as the CCP, Iran, and Israel. The world internet will be shut down, including mainstream media, big tech, some power, etc. Then they will initiate the EBS. It's the perfect storm. Code 19 on Telegram. Thursday, October 26th. I work for a company that is one of the systematically important ones for the financial system, and they just announced they're testing their emergency broadcast system on October 26th. We just had a test about a month or two ago, too. Not sure what it means, but I can tell you, our company is not a bank. We handle all the trades and financial transactions for the markets. Threat of nuclear war. After World War II, the British government decided to randomly drop a nuclear bomb right next to 20,000 British soldiers just to see what would happen. What a sick and vile experiment. U.S. conducts nuclear tests. This is from Fox News. Kanye West says he can't be controlled because he hasn't killed anyone. They can control Shaq, Charles Barkley, LeBron James, Jay-Z, and Beyonce, but they can't control me. In Hollywood, a lot of people come up missing. They want to monetize and traumatize. So there it is. Nobody can disregard these things as a conspiracy theory anymore. Satanic Hollywood is crumbling from the top down. Tuesday, November 27th, 2018. CIA Vatican control of the global monetary system through child exploitation. And Saturday, December 15th, 2018. Bush, Clinton's Vatican, Royals, Hollywood, CIA, UK Prime Minister, Baptists into pedophilia. Charlie Ward unveiling the triumph over the U.S. globalist cabal regime. A groundbreaking moment unfolded when over 100 million viewers tuned in to Tucker Carlson's broadcast. That's more than 200 times the reach of most mainstream media networks, each of which typically hovers around the 500,000 mark. Tucker masterfully exposed the layers of corruption within the FBI, CIA, Pentagon's concealment of UFO technology, a revelation from a brave Pentagon whistleblower, sadly underreported by mainstream media, and the insidious weaponization of the media against the people. In a single evening, he touched on multiple issues that resonated with a staggering 100 million viewers. BlackRock, Vanguard, JP Morgan Chase, these financial giants have been witnessing a consistent decline in shares and earnings over the past 3 years. Despite attempts to conjure up fake financial reports, the impending collapse of BlackRock looms large, threatening a seismic impact within the financial sector. Even the largest beer corporation in the U.S. is toppling, its demise accelerated by its ill-fated foray into woke LGBTQ and trans agendas. This should serve as a stark reminder of the deceptive facade propagated by mainstream media. Contrary to their inflated numbers, the woke LGBTQ trans democratic Antifa elitists movements lack the clout they purport to have. Notably, Starbucks has initiated a retreat, removing rainbow-colored signage from its products and shuttering stores across the globe. Their anxiety hints at an imminent corporate collapse. The United Kingdom has taken a significant step by banning all puberty blockers across the country. This move is noteworthy as the transgender ideology, dating back to the 60s, was originally crafted by MI6, an organization with high-ranking members in the Bohemian Grove. White hats have penetrated MI6 extensively since 2008, and sleepers are gradually awakening. Anticipate MI6 whistleblowers to step forward in the coming months, exposing corruption at the highest echelons. Meanwhile, in the realm of politics, Trump is surging ahead in the presidential race. Despite the relentless efforts of the CIA-controlled Mockingbird media and the Biden administration, which is a puppet of the Obama CIA to dismantle Trump's legacy, the opposite effect is manifesting. Trump's influence continues to grow, and an increasing number of Americans are awakening to the corruption within the FBI, CIA, DOJ, and the broader U.S. government. Even prominent Democrats are beginning to turn on Biden, foreseeing impending indictments as a weaponization of the U.S. system against Trump, patriots, and Republicans. Now let's address the QAnon phenomenon. While some have called it a federal psyop, it's more intricate than that. QAnon has undeniably been infiltrated by white hats working from within the FBI, CIA, DOJ, NSA with the mission to dismantle the deep state CIA FBI regime. QAnon played a pivotal role in bringing the Epstein scandal to light, opening the world's eyes to the horrors of pedophilia and human trafficking, linked to the likes of Obama and the Clintons, CIA, FBI. It was QAnon that sparked the Great Awakening, a global phenomenon with the rallying cry of where we go one, we go all. White hats inside of Trump's Congress were well aware of what's really happening. That's why they are exposing the virus, vaccines, Biden crime family, Fauci, and the CIA. Friday, October the 20th, Fulford Report. The Ukraine war is basically over for the cabal deep state. They have lost their objective to use Ukraine to fight Russia, capture Moscow and the Russian Federation and all their resources. GDP and $75 trillion natural resources, including their 175 million tons of lithium reserve that BlackRock, CIA, MI6, Mossad, Deep State wanted. Their operations have failed. Now the Deep State operations to cause World War III will fail. You will see the mainstream media push World War III in fear-mongering to steal $1.2 trillion of taxpayer dollars for support of Israel, which is the same as giving it to the cabal. Military assessment, war games, and top world generals know the United States is inside economic collapse. The U.S. was broke and could not fight wars with Russia, China, and the Middle East. The Ukraine war is practically done, even though Biden is publicly lying in his speech, saying Russia failed and didn't capture Kyiv. The real truth was that Russia has captured Kharkiv, Ukraine's second biggest city. Russia is currently heading west and could capture Odessa by midwinter. Europeans are tired of the U.S. and Ukraine war support. Ukraine is done. This is military public assessment in words of commanders and general colonels and European and U.S. intelligence. This is why the deep state started another war imminently in the Middle East to cause chaos and try to get funding and laundering money and try desperately to avoid the U.S. military storm arrest. Currently in the Middle East, Turkey has turned on U.S. NATO allies and are moving troops and doing new naval exercises. Turkey is practicing mobilizing 2 million soldiers in emergency combat situations. The deep state, CIA, Mossad, MI6, Davos were in a panic. Pakistan is supporting Turkey. China is supporting both countries. Russia is supporting several Middle East countries, including Syria and Palestine. Putin just announced he will defend Palestine. The U.S. cannot fight a ground war in the Middle East and has no missiles and weapons. Iran, Syria, Lebanon, and Turkey, backed by China and Russia, has the most stockpiles of weapons across the world combined. The U.S. will not fight Iran in a ground war, as Iran missiles can take out U.S. naval fleets, 16-1 odds. Combined that with Turkey, as Erdogan is the unspoken leader of the Muslim and recently stated his first loyalty is to the Muslims. There's no way the U.S. can win any wars in Russia, China, and the Middle East. Military assessments say that the U.S. is the weakest it has ever been in a century. The real World War III event will come in late 2024. This mega massive scare event and full nuclear standoff will lead to the exposure of the U.S. military-industrial complex system. CIA, Obama, Bush, Clinton's, Rockefellers. Everything is on a collision course with exposure of the Hunter Biden laptop, 2020 stolen elections. The only event in the future is North Korea to explode a nuke over the oceans inside the 2024 mega massive scare event. Nuclear standoff, near-death civilization event in progress. Protect the children. Satanists in your community are celebrating the month of October leading up to Satan's birthday on Halloween. It's only wise to be prepared for disasters and store at least a month's worth of cash, water, food, and essential items for yourself and to help others. Judy note, the gold asset-backed global currency reset was on the verge of completion. The Iraqi dinar had revalued, and the majority of the world's population resided in nations that had joined the BRICS alliance, which refused to accept the fiat US dollar for trade. The Israel-Hamas war was playing out as a movie script, increasing tensions and threats of nuclear strikes around the globe, while trying to promote a World War III. No one really knew what was going on except for the cabal, which was manipulating US Inc. to fund both sides of the war. Israel was not a Jewish state, and leaders of the Jewish community have come out against Israel. With over 430 criminal indictments about to be filed against him, President Biden was expected to resign at any time, and especially by Tuesday, October 24th, when the Supreme Court decision on the Brunson case verifying 2020 voter fraud was set to be made public. U.S. district attorneys and U.S. sheriffs were working together to criminally charge Anthony Fauci and many others for racketeering. Warning: U.S. citizens traveling abroad are urged to exercise increased caution in light of the heightened global tensions spurred by Hamas' terror attack on Israel and the unfolding Israel-Hamas war. The State Department said in a new advisory on Thursday, due to increased tensions in various locations around the world, the potential for terrorist attacks, demonstrations, or violent actions against U.S. citizens and interests, the Department of State advises U.S. citizens overseas to exercise increased caution, officials said in the worldwide caution alert. The Mystery of Israel Solved documentary film. And whatever is happening behind the scenes is all part of a masterful plan, and everyone should keep their heads up and faith strong. Trump is protected and insulated. You are watching a movie. Everything has meaning. It had to be this way. Sometimes you must walk through the darkness before you see the light. Q. Into the Storm on Telegram. Israel is not a Jewish state. There was absolutely no Zionism in Judaism. The Mystery of Israel Solved is a documentary about Zionism, the entities behind the current war in Israel, and how they have used it to start World War III. Biden is going down tonight. Quote from Mel Gibson, Thursday, October 19th, according to a former member of his staff when he was a senator. Tara Reid claims Biden sexually assaulted her when she worked under him. The left ignored her claims, of course they did, when she made them public during the 2020 presidential campaign. By May 20th, 2023, Tara Reid had defected to Russia for protection. U.S. district attorneys and U.S. sheriffs were working together to criminally charge Anthony Fauci, Ralph Barrett, Peter Daszak, and many others for racketeering, collusion. Social media censors are using disinformation claims to silence free speech. 136 academics, historians, and journalists have warned. Social networks, government officials, universities, and NGOs are attempting to label legitimate opinions as fake news, according to the group of influential thinkers. JFK warned U.S. President John F. Kennedy spoke out against corruption in intelligence agencies, secret societies, and the military-industrial complex. He refused to sign Operation Northwoods, the CIA false flag plan to start military conflict with Cuba. President Kennedy stood up against the machine and paid the ultimate price for it. We need more leaders willing to fight corruption if we are to survive as a free nation. Rumored global currency reset timeline. The Iraqi dinar is revalued and for the past week has been trading on the back screens of the Forex, putting itself in a position for the new exchange rate that was soon to be made public. Iraqi banks have been telling Iraqi citizens that the Iraqi dinar rate has been changing up in value on the back screens of the Forex, and the new rate was about to be announced by the Central Bank of Iraq Board of Directors. The Central Bank of Iraq suspended Western Union service for the international money transfer. And Iraq joined BRICS and banned cash withdrawals of U.S. dollars in Iraq. Overnight, Sunday, October 15th, the banks completed the remaining layers of payments, and that same Sunday, the IMF and World Bank held their last meeting. By Monday, October 16th, the dinar was fluctuating in value on the back screens of the Forex, though was mainly at $1.47 to the USD in country. Also, the RV launch algorithms were said to be ready to go. Dubai 1 had been released and Dubai 2 had almost finished its launch. On Tuesday, October 17th, Iraq passed a law giving 5% interest rates on all bank deposits. They encouraged Iraqi citizens to move their dinars from under the mattress and deposit them in the bank for profit. Our new automated banking systems are waiting to make it happen for you. On Wednesday, October 18th, Iraq raised their interest rates because they were going to raise the value of the Iraqi dinar. The 20 or so days of disclosure was believed to have begun around Sunday, October 1st. If so, that would take the RV timeline to this Friday, October 20th, when all buy-sell bond operations will be closed, meaning you can't buy any more bonds. You have to ask why. Perhaps the RV? EBS activation on Sunday, October 22nd. Q says that after Argentina's election on Sunday, October 22nd, everything would change and the world would soon have no internet for a while. We are approaching that timeline. Get ready for it. Q. EBS activation on Tuesday, October 24th, when the Supreme Court was expected to announce their decision on the Brunson 2020 election fraud case, which could take down the Biden administration and all of Congress. Could this cause riots and be the EBS activation date? EBS activation on Tuesday, October 31st. Trump said he was turning off the friggin' lights at Halloween. Did he mean EBS activation on Tuesday, October 31st? Starting the fourth week of October, repatriation and reclamation allowances would be paid out. The amount of monies paid back will be based on federal taxes paid since the 1940s, interest on mortgages, bank loans, car loans, and credit card interest, along with the interest earned on those monies over the years. Those 60 and older will be paid in 3 equal monthly payments for October, November, and December. Those 50 to 60 will get payments over the next 12 months, and those younger will be paid out over 15 years, though they have to be employed in order to qualify. Starting sometime in October and continuing for 3 months, Social Security benefits will be significantly higher, topping out at $5,200. Repatriation allowances for 60 and older will begin the 18th or 25th of October as the beginning of 3 equal payments over the next 3 months. Wednesday, November 1st was the goal to have currency exchanges and ZIM bond redemptions completed, although that date could vary. On Sunday, November 19th, XRP, gold asset-backed digital currency, would be official. Starting January 1st, 2024, the fiat US dollar will be worthless. All currencies across the globe will be on par one-to-one with each other. Social Security benefits will be much higher, and the SSR&R payments start on a monthly basis. In the next 3 to 6 months, the Rodriguez Trust will begin to administer universal basic income for citizens of all GCR-compliant countries. The amount per individual or family will depend on the status, needs, employment level, and age of the person, family, and will work to encourage people to work if they can. Global Currency Reset. Thursday, October 19th, from Bruce. Currency sellers have been advised they were no longer able to sell currencies after 11:59 p.m. Friday night, October 20th, Central Daylight Time. Once the currency sellers stopped being able to sell, Tier 4B would go. The optimal time we could be notified was Saturday morning, October 21st. Wednesday, October 18th, from Mark Z. On the bond side, there are some with appointments this Friday, and they are expecting full funding. There are also a couple of appointments for over the weekend. There are still expectations of things paying out overnight tonight. Starting in Asia and Europe and moving our way, the petrodollar is done. If anyone is to buy any BRICS nations oil, you will have to pay in their currency. They are not accepting the US dollar. Wednesday, Wolverine, Wednesday the 18th. All operations will be closing by the 20th of October, which means you can't buy any more bonds. They will be shutting down. We are that close, guys. The launch algorithms were ready to go on Monday, October 16th. Dubai 1 has been released and Dubai 2 could be finished by now. Banks completed the remaining layers of payments overnight Sunday, October 15th. Wednesday, October 18th, TNT. The window for the rate change is still open. The word is Thursday going into Friday, 19th and 20th of October, but it can still be at any minute. It's the perfect time to change the rate, while the international transactions are shut down to stop the smuggling of US dollars out of the country. Wednesday, October 18th, Jasara QFS GCR RV, ISO 20022, Basel III Protocol QFS 20, and Dinar are components of the new financial system. Everything is related. The quantum financial system relies on XRPL, or the XRP ledger, to be a digital highway upon which financial transactions are conducted securely and at warp speed. The quantum trinity, XRPL, XRP, and Nasara, the financial game changer. Thursday, October 19th, Bruce, the big call. Currency sellers have been advised they were no longer able to sell currencies after 11:59 p.m. Friday night, October 20th, Central Daylight Time. Once the currency sellers stopped being able to sell, Tier 4B would go, and the optimal time would be notified was Saturday morning, October 21st. There was a conference call between the U.S. Treasury, Wells Fargo, HSBC locations worldwide, and redemption centers around the globe scheduled for 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday, October 20th. They will discuss whether or not redemption centers would be staffed on Sunday, October 22nd. The Supreme Court decision on the Brunson case that would take down the Biden administration and all of Congress would come out around Tuesday, October 24th. And mass arrests have been intensively going on for the past few days. Global financial crisis. GCR QFS GCR RV protocols. And that's from AMG News. Wednesday, October 18th. Sanctions. End of the Fed. No more reserve currency status. Just a financial shell game. AMG News. Wednesday, October 18th. Walmart CEO warns Americans will freak out this winter as prices continue to soar. October 2023, U.S. debt officially climbs above $100,000 per American. The U.S. government debt has now officially climbed above $100,000 per American citizen, including children, in October 2023. U.S. military stocks lost $100 billion after Israel-Palestine conflict. And Thursday, October 19th, hundreds of stocks halted at the London Stock Exchange following a system incident. Chinese investors are the biggest investors in the U.S. And in August 2023, they offloaded the most U.S. securities offloaded in the past 4 years. Each year, the U.S. government spends more to pay interest on its $33 trillion national debt than it does on national defense. And that's on purpose, because we pay the interest on that debt to the bankers who ran up that debt. How sick is that? Judy notes, so the question is, who does that interest payment go to? Answer, the cabal, which owns the IRS and Federal Reserve. What a nice little scam they had going there for a while, huh? We are actually borrowing on our own money so we can pay interest on our own money that we borrowed, so the cabal can spend that money, plus profit from control of our money. It's just, wow. Unbelievable. Nokia lays off 14,000 people. Just a reminder, with conflict raging across the world and the need for national security never high, that America's Strategic Petroleum Reserve has only 17 days of oil left. The central bank for the world's central banks is the Rothschild-controlled Bank for International Settlements in Basel, Switzerland. Both are ziggurat projects created by the offspring of Satan. This is no coincidence. U.S. mortgage application flow plunges to lowest since 1995. The volume of U.S. mortgage applications plummeted to the lowest in nearly 3 decades, as the interest rates are 6 weeks to the highest since 1995. The Republicans' voice. Restored Republic. Thursday, October 19th, Texas. A woman in a military town in Texas reported that trains have been running overnight like crazy. We've been getting a lot of military jets coming into airport. They won't talk about it, but they keep telling everyone to be prepared. Thursday, October 10th, Texas. My son is a Marine and he said to me, "Mom, be careful and ready. Things are happening." U.S. State Department issues worldwide caution, travel alert. Germany calls on its citizens to leave Lebanon immediately. The Prime Minister of Israel posted a video in the official Telegram account with the signature, "We are with the soldiers and we are ready." Israel has warned all staff of its 20 embassies in North and Latin America not to leave their homes. MTV cancels Europe Music Awards over Israel-Gaza war. MTV News is shutting down after 36 years. Take a look at its iconic history, Business Insider. Biden and Yellen gave Iran $3.5 billion. Wow. Unbelievable. I guess that's how the cabal gets their money. France, despite the ban, today's pro-Palestine protests in Paris. The anti-Israel protests in London. According to the police, there were more than 50,000 people out on the streets. Atletico Madrid fans support Palestine. On Wednesday, October 18th, Iranian-backed Houthi militants fire missiles at U.S. Navy destroyer off the coast of Yemen. 14 French airports again hit by fake bomb threats. News 18, most of France's major airports, with the exception of its two biggest in Paris, were temporarily cleared on Wednesday, leading to at least 130 flight cancellations. Israel is last. Democratic Texas Representative Colin Alfred threatened to call the Capitol Police on a citizen journalist rather than answer a question about reports he had backed the release of millions of dollars that potentially funded the terrorist organization Hamas, according to a video obtained exclusively by the Daily Caller. Congressman Allred, do you regret calling for the release of millions of dollars to Hamas? The citizen journalist asked multiple times. I'll get the Capitol Police for you, Allred responded, while a female walking with the congressman told the journalist he could not record in the building. You're on federal property. Stop doing this, Allred added. Israeli soldiers undoubtedly shot Israeli civilians. Survivor of kibbutz raid says in explosive interview. Israeli forces eliminated everyone, including the hostages, said Yasmin Porat, who had fled the nearby Nova rave. Wednesday, October 18th, Turkish police recover stolen Jewish Torah scrolls decorated with satanic Illuminati symbolism. AMG News. Venezuela sends 30 tons of humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip. Torah Judaism is claiming Jews do not need a state. Israel is not a Jewish state. There is absolutely no Zionism in Judaism. Jews never believe in Zionism and do not become Zionists. Jews never teach their children Zionism in their yeshiva. Zionism is not Judaism. What would make them even suggest something so insane? The Mystery of Israel Solved, a documentary about the entities behind the current war in Israel and how they've used it as an excuse to start World War III. Dear friends all over the world, today I come to you with an extremely disturbing film that I produced in the recent days with tears in my eyes and a broken heart. The film exposes something so nefarious, so evil, so mind-blowing that many will find it hard to believe. Yet it is true. This film can deliver a fatal blow to the satanic elites. You want to establish a world government to enslave all of humanity. The Rothschilds promised the Israelis a land of their own if they would bring the United States into World War I. They got it. After World War II, the shocking secrets unveiled by these incredible documentary will shine a blazing light on those who have always been hiding behind the state of Israel. I made this film during the dark hours of the night. Well, I had to sleep for my health, but I got no rest until this film was finished. Humanity is bound on all sides by lies that are too enormous to comprehend, but it is our task to break these chains of deception so mankind can enter a world without terror, destruction, and war. The intention of the entities who are behind the current war in Israel is to use it as an excuse to start World War III. According to their plan, this must then result in the establishing of a tyrannical one-world government to bring peace. This plot needs to be exposed. Please watch the film and share. Stop world control. Israel conflict. 1 month ago, Mohammed bin Salman announced that Saudi Arabia was moving closer to a historic normalization agreement with Israel, with this progress linked to Palestinian negotiations and an arms deal with the United States. At the same time, Benjamin Netanyahu unveiled the India-Middle East-Europe Economic Corridor, a trade route connecting India and the European Union through the United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Israel. Fast forward 1 month, Hamas carried out a terrorist attack on Israel. In response, Israel declared war on Hamas, initiating airstrikes on Gaza and cutting off food, water, and electricity to 2 million Palestinians. The United States deployed 2 carrier strike groups to the Mediterranean. The State Department issued a worldwide caution for American citizens, and the Middle East stands at the precipice of war. What is the goal behind the terrorist attack on Israel? Is it possible for Israel to eradicate Hamas without killing tens of thousands of Palestinians? Does China, Russia, and Iran want India, Saudi Arabia, and Israel to build an alternative trade route to the Belt and Road Initiative? Capital of the sovereign nation of Hawaii in Lahaina, Maui has been destroyed. Be careful where you donate. The Kingdom of Akua Foundation's Malama Lahaina website was the only official and authorized site solely dedicated to and run by the Hawaiian Native peoples. And there's the link to that. And then we have donations are needed to help save our Constitution and battle the IRS, but you get cool Liberty stuff. Donations go to the printing, postage, travel, mailings, and service of legal documents to the criminals and courts. See what cool stuff a Miracles donation can get you. Shopping page. And there's 2 links. Support the fight for our freedom from the Goliath IRS. Ken Cromar sitting in jail after having his fully paid for home and all his possessions taken away by the IRS, even though he won his case in a federal tax court that he owed no money to the IRS. His mailing address, he can only receive white postcards. And there is his address. And at the bottom it says, 3 letters of support for Ken Cromar. Send an email or letter of protest to help save a 4-year-old child held hostage by organ harvesting Stanford University Children's Hospital. The court has ruled against the parents' right to save her. The healthy child went in for prolonged diarrhea and was given the drugs fentanyl, dexamethasone, Presidex, Ativan, amlodipine, Keppra, nicardipine, ceftriaxone, and intubated on a ventilator, actions of which have caused renal and kidney failure. The family asked for a second opinion and instead Child Protective Services was called. A court hearing was held without properly notifying the family. Judge Erica Ziegenhorn ruled that the parents have to consent to whatever the hospital deems necessary to prescribe our medical procedure. My goodness. Talk about trying to outright take organs. That's horrible. CPS responsible. Oregon Department of Human Services, Child Protective Services. The doctor responsible, Lindsay K. Rasmussen, MD. Lucille Packard Children's Hospital, Stanford University. And there's the phone number and the email. The real news for Thursday, the 19th, 2023. Wednesday, October 18th, the Secret Service agent's exposure. Little Rock Development Corporation, Rose Law Firm, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Department of Justice, FBI, CIA, and government secrets. AMG News. A doctor at the Disney Engineering Lab has admitted to cloning stars to make them ready to do what Disney wanted. And Wednesday, October 18th, in Deep, the FBI, CIA, NSA, DHS, deep state arrests, and the military-industrial complex. Enjoy the show. Wednesday, October 18th, Vladimir Putin's nuclear power play. Putin's nuclear briefcase filmed in China amidst heightened tensions. Tyson Foods, Inc., the largest producer in the U.S. for all kinds of meats, is opening a major insect processing plant in the United States to fulfill what it says is enormous future demand for insects in North America. Great. The bugs. They want us to eat the bugs. ThePeoplesVoice.tv. NASA claims they accidentally lost 14,000 reels of science data from the moon landing. White Hat intel on information warfare. Ukraine, China, Iraq, and Iran opens the door far beyond the Biden family. You protect your interests, shelter from prosecution, and make the public aware by infiltrating and thus controlling the DOJ, FBI, state, intel, and news. How many fired FBI Russia mid-year received a book deal? Book deals can be lucrative. Follow the family. U.S. taxpayers paid for it all. Thursday, October 19th, Fulford Report. The deep state's G20 power unraveling. Hold on to your seats as the once mighty deep state's grip on G20 power begins to crumble, sending shockwaves through the international stage. UN and NATO in free fall. The UN and NATO, long dominated by deep state elites and their clandestine cabal, are teetering on the brink of collapse. Their iron grip on global operations is slipping, and here's why. The cabal unmasked. The Rothschilds, Rockefellers, CIA, and their ilk, who have long orchestrated the G20's agenda, are now in a frenzy. Over 70% of African nations have turned their backs on their summit, and even more astonishingly, the president of China and CCP executives were glaringly absent. Panic engulfs the global elite. Deep state powerhouses such as NATO, UN, CIA, MI6, and the G20 are in the throes of panic. Their intricate web of money laundering, woven through G20 nations, is fraying at the edges. Africa, a once exploited resource haven, is slipping from their grasp as it aligns with Russia, China, and eagerly considers BRICS' invitation.
Stored Republic via GCR,